105 years ago today, dancer, courtesan, and alleged spy Mata Hari was executed by a French firing squad. She was charged for espionage for becoming a double agent on Germany's behalf during World War I. Let's talk about her whole story a little bit more. She first came to Paris in 1905 and found fame as a performer of Asian-inspired dances. She was basically Asian fishing during this time and furthering stereotypes about Asian people and Asian culture. But people were intrigued by this woman who knew so much about these faraway lands, and she soon began touring all over Europe. She told a story of how she was born in a sacred Indian temple and taught ancient dances by a priestess who gave her the name Mata Hari, which meant Eye of the Day in Malay. But in reality, Mata Hari was born in a small town in northern Holland in 1876, and her real name was Margarita Gertrudia Zell. Sorry if I totally butchered that name. Anyway, she got her superficial knowledge of Indian and Javanese dances when she lived in Malaysia for a few years with her ex-husband. He was a Scot in the Dutch colonial army and was stationed in Malaysia. But regardless of her authenticity, she packed the dance halls and opera houses from Russia to France. It wasn't just the dancing that people came to see. That was only part of it. Her dances involved her slowly stripping her clothes off until she didn't have anything on. So you can see why someone in the early 1900s might be intrigued by something like this. She became a famous courtesan, and with the outbreak of World War I, some of her secret lovers began to include high-ranking military officials of various nations. French authorities initially recruited her to spy on other powerful countries for them, but it really didn't take long for things to go south. In February of 1917, French authorities had to arrest her for espionage and imprisoned her at Saint-Lazare prison in Paris. In a military trial conducted in July, she was accused of revealing details of the Allies' new weapon, the tank, resulting in deaths of thousands of soldiers. Honestly, the trial was super biased and riddled with circumstantial evidence. It's not even like she was giving the Germans groundbreaking intel, because the Germans themselves said that she produced little intelligence of value. It really just seemed like this whole trial and her reputation as the greatest woman spy of all time was really being blown out of proportion to use her as a scapegoat and hold public attention to distract from how many soldiers were really dying. Unfortunately, she was convicted and sentenced to death, and on October 15th, she was shot to death by a firing squad. A kind of badass detail about the story is that she refused a blindfold. She didn't care if she saw the bullet coming, which is pretty ballsy in my opinion. And that's the story of Mata Hari. So if you guys want to hear about anything else, that would be really cool to hear about in the comments. Otherwise, if you like this video, leave a like, maybe subscribe. But I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!